Okay, let's have a look at the Functional Skills Reading Level 2. This is the third sample paper that's available on the City and Guilds website, and the title of it is Resolutions. And first of all, we're going to have a look at the source documents, and then we will have a look at the question paper. So this is what you'll get if you were doing the paper exam. This is exactly what you would get. So we've got page 1, page 2. It tells you what you've got. Document 1. To answer questions 1 to 6, document 2 to answer questions 7 to 13, both documents for the last 2 questions. Okay, so when the first thing we want to be thinking when we're looking at a piece of text is what is it, why is it being written, and where would it be published. So it tells you at the top it's a magazine article, and we can see that it's issue number 16. It's got here's the name of the magazine, and here's the title of the article. So even if it didn't give us this information at the top, we should still be able to work out that this is an article. And then we've got the author here. So we want to now understand why it's been written. So why has Suki decided to write this, and what is she trying to, how is she trying to affect the reader? What does she want us to take away from this article, and how should we be changed at the end of it? This is really important to understanding the sorts of questions you'll get as well in the question paper. So let's begin. In news that surprises no one, and I'm going to start highlighting language techniques that show a particular tone and a particular agenda from Suki. So in news that surprises no one, least of all me, research has shown that around 1/4 of people give up their resolutions after just 1 week, while fewer than 1 in 10 will maintain their goal to the end of the year. So what's the reason for this disappointing statistic? Behavioural scientists, look, it's full of useful things. I'll be highlighting all of it at this rate. Behavioural scientists have discovered that people tend to focus on what they are changing rather than why. But here's the good news. Science has shed much needed light. Science. I've got to highlight science as well. I'll explain why in a minute. Science has shed some much needed light on how to stick to resolutions. Okay, I've highlighted all of these things because they all tell me what is the tone of this Suki. First of all, this least of all me, it shows a chatty tone and it's personal. She's talking about herself. So in news that surprises no one, least of all me, research has shown. So she's being personal here. It's a kind of chatty, conversational sort of tone that you might pick up on. And then we've got research has shown, maybe I should have highlighted that bit. At the same time as being chatty, she's also wants to be taken seriously. She's also backing up what she's about to say in this article with research. And then we've got statistics. Around 1/4 of people give up their resolutions after just 1 week. Fewer than 1 in 10. So this first one is loaded with research, behavioural scientists as well, science. She's saying that people who know, experts, are saying what I'm about to tell you, okay? So she's backing it up and making it sound like we can trust what she's about to say, okay? But she's being friendly and chatty at the same time. And here we've got this, we always notice questions, don't we? Rhetorical questions in articles. So what's the reason for this disappointing statistic? And that's what we should be thinking about as well. So why do people break their New Year's resolutions? Okay, so we can see that this section here, these 2 paragraphs, are about making resolutions with friends. And it's very clear, isn't it? Because we've got this subheading and an image also to help illustrate that. So here's a nice one to begin with. Research, again backing it up with research. Research from Leeds University found that partnering up with someone can boost the likelihood of seeing things through. Professor Lucy Daniels, okay, we've got a professor there saying something, look. The Leeds team carried out research involving 15 groups of people who had set themselves a new goal. The research revealed that joint planning helped people commit to new exercise regimes. Moreover, And I'm just going to highlight that there. Starting something new with a friend significantly increased motivation. Now, this has got a very particular tone. This sounds like it's a professor saying it, doesn't it? It sounds very formal. This, and we've got, moreover, rather than the word also. It's just a little bit higher in formality here. So that's the tone of that one. So we've got back to why it might help you to make a resolution with a friend. Next subheading, look here. And this one, don't expect lasting change for at least 3 months, and an egg timer to say this is about the timing. Okay, why is timing important when you're making resolutions? Okay, now again, look at that, chatty. Yeah, this one is not as encouraging. University College London discovered that it takes an average of 3 months to form a new habit. According to Ramesh Marto, okay, so another professor of social psychology says this means if you make a New Year's resolution and do it daily, it won't become a habit until the end of March. So don't give up on the gym membership just yet. Okay, so here, this little bit at the end is much more chatty in tone, isn't it? So he's given the information. This means that if you make a New Year's resolution and do it daily, it won't become a habit until the end of March. That's about, giving your resolution time. And here we've got, so don't give up on the gym membership just yet. A little chatty, bit of humour, exclamation mark at the end to show that it's supposed to be funny. Something that will come up in the exam questions, okay? If you're definitely going to get a question about the tone. Next subheading, try moving house, or at least changing the environment. And there's a little house to illustrate it. Those clever psychologists, okay? There you go, chatty again, at the University of Bath, found that the best time for successful habit change isn't based on the calendar like we thought, but on big changes to our everyday lives, such as moving to a new home. Oops, no wonder I struggle staying on target. Chatty, okay, fun. Right, notice these little bits, all right? Very handy when we come to answer the questions. Professor Anya Flores explains, we studied 800 new goal setters and we found that the recent movers had the most success. Changing your habits can be a nightmare, and finding the right moment to make a change is even worse. Many resolutions are made on December the 31st and go down the drain. Ooh, down the drain. You notice that straight away. Once you become familiar with the sorts of language techniques that people use, you'd notice these sorts of things straight away. Down the drain it's a metaphor, it's a saying, it's a colloquialism almost, where if you say something's gone down the drain, it's ruined, broken, finished, gone. Okay, and it's a nice little saying to illustrate that. And again, informal. So often when we have metaphors used like this, they're informal and chatty. Okay, so your resolutions might go down the drain on January the 2nd, so they won't last long. Right, and here we go. Pick concrete goals. And a little sort of bar chart on a whiteboard there to show, that you should be choosing your resolutions carefully. Dr. Richard Brown, author of the book Achieving What You Want, says, it's crucial not to set vague goals, but instead pick clear, achievable targets. So ditch those useless resolutions. Again, ditch. Okay, this is a metaphor, isn't it? It's an informal way, a chatty way of saying don't bother with or get rid of. Get rid of those useless resolutions, like get more exercise, and choose walk for 20 minutes at least 4 times a week instead. Your future self will thank you. Oops, I didn't mean to highlight all of that. There you go. Your future self will thank you. Again, chatty, fun. So that's the advice from top scientists. Top scientists, not just any old scientists, top scientists, okay? And this is, people say things all the time in articles or whatever it is we're reading, or on the TV or on social media, that people are always making these grand statements as though they're factual. They're purely opinion. And this is what we need to get into our heads, that 95% of what we hear is opinion, but often it's presented as though it's a fact. Okay, says who? They're top scientists. Okay, says the author of this article. Now, you just have to put it to good use. Good luck with your resolutions, and I hope you all have better luck than I've had. Again, there, look, it's got, it's personal. It's about Suki. So we've got two different very clear language techniques in here. We've got this chatty, friendly tone that guides you through and makes you feel like you're listening to, a friendly person, and then you've got it backed up with, but you can trust what I'm saying because it's backed up by science. Okay, so those are the things we want to pick up on.